Thune.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for holding the hearing. I think it's important that you were talking about taxpayer dollars here, that we make sure that we're doing everything to see that they are spent wisely and well. Mr. Bagdoyan, in your testimony, you highlight marketplaces are required by law to verify application information, yet it appears from your investigation and subsequent interactions with CMS that the buck stops with no one, especially since the very contractors hired to verify these documents are not required to detect fraud. So it begs the question of whether you are currently aware of any effective front or back-end fraud detection program in use by the administration.
Again, I would couch my response to you, Senator Thune, in terms of our ongoing work. The forensic part of our work should be able to give us a good idea of what the controls are. We will take what we've learned from the undercover tests, map those out against the forensic audit, and then apply appropriate criteria such as the internal control standards of the federal government, as well as a forthcoming GAO framework to manage fraud risk. And then we'll be able to have a more comprehensive view of what the control environment is like. So
okay, but you're not
sure for me to make a judgment like that.
Currently aware today, though, absent having
based on our work to date, I'm not aware of that.
Any fraud detection program. Additionally, has the administration provided you with any rationale as why they would enter into contracts that do not require the contractors to have fraud detection capabilities?
As best as I can tell, the arrangement with the contractor is to process documents that are submitted in support of applications, and the contractor confirmed with us that they are not required to detect fraud. That would be a whole different transaction at greater cost.
So you said you're still in your work is ongoing, but
yes.
Does GAO have any recommendations for how to improve the document verification process to actually sort out fraud as opposed to just accepting documents?
Sure. As I mentioned in my opening statement, we are working on a forthcoming report sometime in the fall timeframe where we hope to have some initial recommendations, and those recommendations might indeed cover the matter that you mentioned.
Okay, but you don't have any hard, fast now?
Not right now, but as I mentioned earlier, we did speak with CMS officials about things that we were encountering. We had discussions about their view of that, and we continue to have those discussions and await some explanations in that regard.
My understanding is from your work that several of the fictitious applications were approved and subsequently reapproved without ever submitting documentation to the marketplace. How can this be?
Well,
how can the marketplace continue dispersing taxpayer dollars without receiving any documentation in response to its request?
Well, we were automatically re-enrolled without any action on our part for all 11 applicants, and then subsequently we found out that 6 of them, as I mentioned in my statement, had been indeed dropped from coverage because they had not submitted any documents in response to that. And then to carry that one step further, we did, acting again as typical consumers, sought to restore our coverage, and we were successful 5 out of 6 times.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Chairman, I would just simply say that these, I think, are really troubling results. 11 out of 12, and I would say, Senator from Oregon, I mean, I think that we need to drill down and get to the bottom of this. I don't think you can discount or write this kind of research and report off. And you couple that with, in June, the HHS OIG report revealed that the administration couldn't verify whether nearly $3 billion in subsidies was properly dispersed to insurance companies during the first 4 months of 2014. These are significant failures in this system. They need to be addressed, and I appreciate the hearing here, Mr. Chairman, and hope that we can continue this dialogue with you, Mr. Bagdoyan, as you continue your work to determine how to stop this sort of waste of taxpayer dollars in the future. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're going to turn to Senator